Maine, and I'm going to have the Maine Farmington guy come talk to you. And it was Pat.
I got to be on the screen. We are live. It is time for another episode of Talking Preps. It's time for the state championship. This is also our last episode of the year. I won't have any more Talking Preps to the fall, Gary. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Well, I don't know. I get my Sundays.
I don't know what I'll do with my Sundays.
I get my Sundays back. All right, we're going to start after the break. Randy, you know what we do when we start? What caught your eye?
I mean, I think it had to be just the fan turnout at a lot of these games we had this week. I know West Charlotte played early this week, but the crowd did not disappoint. They showed up, and I think it made for a very, very fun atmosphere in a lot of these Final Four games this week.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that caught my eye was West Charlotte sophomore Kahari Coleman. Some people said he had 30. Some people said he had 25. The state never put out any official stats. I know this man was balling. Kahari, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
All right, so the first question I got, I know you're CJ's grandson. Tell me, how that works, and you must have a basketball put in your crib.
I feel like it's good, you know what I'm saying? After like my granddad passed, I feel like the community was like all coming together. And like I feel like after my granddad passed, it put my family in a good position, and not just my family, me as well. And like for Coach Baker last year, if it wasn't for him, like I wouldn't be known as like how I am now. Because like after my granddad passed, he was one of my granddad's best friends. He was like, "I'm gonna put the ball in your hands," and that was good for him, for me.
Have you been surprised at the success you've had this year? I know you came over to West Charlotte from Harding. All of a sudden become one of the best players in North Carolina.
Yeah, I've been impressed. Like coming from where I come from and like not being known like my whole middle school, and like after my freshman year starting to get like a lot of recognition and stuff, like it feel good.
Richard.
Kahari, I spoke to you earlier in the year at the Mike Jaminski, and I told you that the one thing that would separate your game would be the ability to hit one or two outside jumpers from the perimeter. And I know you're such a successful player going downhill, but in the overtime game against West Forsyth, you took the biggest three-pointer of your career when you hit the three-pointer and put West Charlotte up for good. What was going through your mind at that particular time?
I mean, it felt good because I shot it with confidence, and like not even only that game, like games before I was hitting like 2 or 3 3-pointers or some mid ranges. But I've been working on my shot after we had that conversation at Marvin Ridge.
And Kahari, my question was about a little bit before that. Coach Davis told us after the game, I think you were in the press conference, that it was on him that the game even got to overtime. What was that discussion like? And obviously it didn't kill your momentum that they caught you and forced overtime because you took charge again.
Nah, it wasn't really on him. It was really on me because in the huddle, he was like, I need to have number one, and we kept switching. And me and my team didn't communicate, and we put the wrong person on number one.
So he fell on the sword for you.
Yeah, it was on. No. It was the game was just going fast, and they called a foul, and then ref just put the ball in play, and we didn't have enough time to like communicate as a team and get the mismatch right.
Yeah, Kahari, your grandfather and I were competitors. We were friends, but we also competed. He was my number one rival when I was at Hopewell. And was there any thoughts when you decided to transfer to go to Mallard Creek, since they named the court after your grandfather? I know we had a situation about 3 years ago. Langston can remember this, when they changed the name of Vance to Chambers.
Yeah.
Julius Chambers' grandson was playing at Mallard Creek.
Yeah.
And, we thought it might be a chance that he would transfer from Mallard Creek over to the new Chambers High School since it was named after his grandfather. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So was there any thought in your mind when they named the floor after your grandfather to go to Mallard Creek instead of West Charlotte?
Nah, not really. It wasn't really a thought, but like when I seen that the coaches like it was up for grabs, like one of the Harding coaches tried to get the job and it was like a 50-50 and he didn't if he would have got the job, I would have been at Mallard Creek, but he didn't get the job. So
Wow.
I went to West Charlotte.
Breaking news. Listen, you got an offer from NC State the other day. Who else is hot and heavy on you right now?
Houston.
What are you looking for in the college, and when do you want to kind of make a decision? Your junior year? You want to wait till your senior year?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. Probably
you don't know when you want to decide. You don't know what you want in college yet.
Probably junior year. 2 more years. I don't know.
Kahari, I do want to let you know Jeff Lebo was from UNC was in attendance, and I think he was pretty impressed with your performance.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Kahari, do you know Jeff?
You'll be hearing from them shortly.
Yeah, do you know Jeff McGinnis, Kahari?
Yeah, that's my uncle.
Jeff McGinnis is your uncle.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so Jeff McGinnis, you guys were following a very similar track. His freshman year, he played at West Meck, transferred to West Charlotte. His sophomore year came out of nowhere, unknown kid at the beginning of the season, became a star, led them to the 1991 state championship game. And now here you are again doing it to try to lead West Charlotte back. How big a deal would it be for you guys to win a chip at West Charlotte this year with this team?
It would be great because last year I didn't really get the experience, like even make it into the playoffs. And last year they lost in the first round, so it would be good for us. And like everybody on the team, like we all like love each other and like we all love playing with each other. So it would be good to get a state championship this year.
You guys are so young. Do you think that maybe you could do it again? Is it hard not to think ahead to what could be?
Yeah, I feel like we could do it again. I'm saying at the beginning of the season, everybody was like sophomores can't. They're so young, they like can't win a state championship. So
yeah, I thought I got from North Mex say that on one of those IG videos.
Yeah,
that game.
Yeah, they say sophomores can't win a state championship, so we need to prove. So we finna prove them wrong.
I thought an interesting thing of this week was several teams were not conference champions and are going to the state finals. Thomas Jefferson, you guys, Walkertown. But in the case of Thomas Jefferson, they played in the League of Queens Grant. Walkertown played in Reedsville's conference. You played in North Mex conference. Obviously, not winning the conference didn't diminish your goals. What was that week like when you had the bye going into the first round of the 8A playoffs after North Meck beat you the third time? Because clearly a lot of people thought you could be in this position, but saying that and doing that are certainly two different things.
Oh, we lost Kahari. There he is.
I said, what was the week of practice like after North Meck beat you the third time? Because a lot of people thought you could win, but what did you do to kind of straighten it out and get hot again to win?
Can you hear anybody, Kahari? You can't hear anybody? I think he lost his audio.
What happened? Like,
Can you hear us?
Can't hear.
No, he can't hear. Nope. All right, Kahari, you got to log out and come back, and he can't hear that either.
I'll text
He
him.
joined.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. You gonna?
Yeah, tell him to log out and come back.
All right.
I'm gonna take him out. We'll get Kahari back. It's the live television. While I wait on Kahari, we're gonna bring in Sydney McGuire of Mallard Creek. How you doing, Sydney?
Good. How are you?
Tell me about that big win you guys had to get to the region, to win the regional championship and go to the first state final ever.
I think it was like one of our best team games. I think everybody made an impact defensively, mainly. We played really good defense just to start the game, and then that kind of kept us in the flow of the lead. That kept us with the lead.
Do you realize how big a deal that was? Because there's been a lot of great Mallard Creek teams that couldn't get over that hump.
Yes.
Well, what was it like, though? I mean, did you guys know the history, and did Coach say we've never gotten past this round, or she did not tell you guys till after the fact? What was that like?
We hear it a lot. They bring it up a lot, how they haven't made it past the Final Four.
Well, they can't say it anymore, right?
Yeah.
What do you know about the team you're about to play? What do you know about your finals opponent?
They can shoot the ball well, and they move very well without the ball. A lot of passing and cutting, which we've faced a lot this season, and I think we're ready for it.
Okay. Well, Mr. Randall has a question for you, then Garrett and Richard. Go ahead, Randall.
Sydney, going into the game last week, obviously you guys hadn't made it past that round. What was Coach KD's message to you guys, pregame?
We've played them before. We played them when we did play them. It wasn't our best game. So just like showing, like proving to people that we can beat big teams. And and playing our best basketball with only 2 more games left.
Gary.
Sydney, first of all, what class are you in?
27.
You're in 27. So you're the young one in the lineup. I know the other 4 girls are seniors in the starting lineup, and I know 3 of them have already committed, and Jasmine Stone is being recruited. What's it like playing with 4 starters who've all committed to college, and you're kind of like the newcomer in the lineup? What's that like? What's that been like for you this season?
I enjoy it. Being able to play with really good scorers, people who know the game and are gonna go play the game at the next level. And just like they kind of make me mature in my game, being able to play like with a better IQ, and they're just like they're good people to be around.
Do other teams, you think, overlook you in their scout report since they're all seniors and most of them have committed somewhere and you're the junior?
Yeah, I think teams do overlook me, but it doesn't bother me.
Hey, you got a chance to make a big statement on whatever day the game is on. We don't know the time of this filming. Richie, what's your question before we let it go?
Sydney, obviously, it was impressive to start off with 11-0 lead, but I was more impressed. They got within 33-29. Your coach calls a timeout. What was the message? And y'all really took care of business from that point on to the end of the game to solidify your Western championship.
To not hand them the game and to win the game and don't hand them the game because we did have a lead at one point. And then we switched to man because they did hit a couple of threes on us. And I really do rely on my defense a lot. So I knew that that I needed to play really good defense so that the point guard couldn't set up any opportunities to let them score.
Yeah, Sydney, before I let you get out of here, Coach KD couldn't be on today, but tell us something about Coach KD that nobody knows.
She's really funny. She's really funny.
Smart. That's a very smart answer. I thought you might go a different place. Tell me how she's funny.
She just says things that she just says random things that you wouldn't expect her to say.
All right.
Hey, Cindy, that's smart. Save any critical comments until after the state championship game. Then you can say anything you want.
That's right. Well, Cindy, thanks for coming on, and best of luck to you. We see you up in Winston-Salem, okay? Whatever day it is. All right, take care. That's Sydney McGuire, Mallard Creek. All right, so we got Kahari back. Can you hear us now, Kahari? Kahari, can you hear us? You can't hear us still.
He still can't hear us.
Tell them to log out one more time and come back. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Oh wait, I can hear. I can hear Randall. I can hear Randall.
You can hear me? Can you hear anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't. Can y'all say something?
It's only me.
Yeah, I can only hear you.
Randall, just ask.
Oh my! Somebody.
Question, Randall. It's not like you don't know this guy. Just ask
I know, but that's the reason why I don't want to talk to him. I talk to him enough.
Ask him about that.
Kahari, so just when you talk about the game last week, and what was Coach Davis's message pregame to really get you guys focused and locked in before going on the floor?
He was basically just saying we got to bring the show. We got to play defense, play together, and he was basically told us before the game we weren't gonna be able to hear him on the sideline. So we had to communicate together and stay out our heads.
Last week in practice with him knowing that you weren't going to be able to hear him, did he bring some sounds and play some loud music while you guys were practicing last week, or he just told y'all had to be ready to deal with it? Yeah,
he just said we had to be ready to deal with it because we done been the environment like that or packed out games. We want to be able to hear him, and we had to come together as a team and talk.
Randall, ask him what it's like to represent West Charlotte and the community they have versus some of the other schools in town.
What is it like for you? Representing the community of West Charlotte, how has it been for you, being around the city and being around the people? How are they supporting you guys right now?
I say it's good. You know what I'm saying? People letting us get in the gym whenever, or I don't know. It's just we got big support, alumni coming back, giving back to us and stuff like that. And yeah, and they be catering us food and stuff before the games and stuff, like the alumni just helping out.
There you go. Gary, what you got for him?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him. Can you hear me, Car?
You got to repeat the
Okay,
question. I
Rand.
can't hear.
He can't hear you. I got you, Corey. Hold on.
Ask him, what is the one thing that he learned from you that's helped him in his game this season?
Oh wait, I can hear him now. I can hear him now.
Corey,
Okay.
he wants me to ask you.
We know Randall is one of your trainers. Okay, so what is the one thing you've learned from Randall that's helped you in your game this season?
Where you go, Randall?
Oh, you didn't hear? Okay, Coach Richmond wants to know, what is one thing that you've learned from training with me that you've implemented into your game this season?
My shot for sure.
Thank you. That one could have gone many different ways, especially with this kid. So I appreciate him at least being honest. Thank you, Kahari, for not trying to be a comedian right now.
We appreciate him coming on.
All right, thanks for coming on, man. Get back to your stretch. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck this week.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, that's Kahari Coleman. Nice kid there. We're going to bring in North Met coach Jennifer Baker and her star player in North Carolina men's basketball semifinal or finalist, Lanice Joseph. Coach Baker, first of all, first trip to the finals in 40 years.
Yes, 40 years. Lanice brought that up in the press conference, and I had to sit there and think on the fly. And I was like, she's exactly right. It's been 40 years. 1986 is when Andrea Stinson took the team all the way. So we're just happy to be back, of course, but also we're carrying a lot of the community on our back and a lot of those alumni.
Coach, I'm going to tell you how old I was. I was at that game. I was a sophomore at Chapel Hill, walked down to the Dean Dome because I lived in Hinton James, was like literally right on top of the Dean Dome. And West Charlotte played Heinrich Rodel in Chapel Hill and beat them. They were undefeated. Then Audrey came on first and won. And I think she had 43 in that game. So you guys got over the hump to get there because Lake Norman knocked you out 3 of the past 4 years. How big a deal was it to get there to beat kind of your playoff rival?
It was a big deal. There was a lot of former players that played in those games in the stands on Friday night, and they just came over crying and hugging me and then just said, Coach, they got the job done. We got you there, but we couldn't get it done. So just getting over that hump, and it's like we've seen them consistently for the last couple of years, and just being in the same situation and knowing kind of what each other does best. Yeah. And able to prepare for them extensively helped us out, I feel, a lot.
Rick?
Coach Baker, earlier in the year, we had you playing Terry Sanford, who's also playing for a state championship at the Ish Smith, and it was a really good game. It was decided within the last 30 seconds. And the one thing from that particular game, I thought the press at the end of the game sort of gave y'all trouble. And that might be your Achilles heel. And going against Lake Norman, they're a very good pressing team. But in that particular game, you guys handled the press extremely well. It looked like you hit the middle and went opposite and just played over the press. So talk about what you learned from the game against Terry Sanford and how you applied it to the game against Lake Norman.
Yeah, I think we're gelling at the right time. Everybody wants to be playing their best basketball now instead of early in the season. We were still trying to put things together when we played Terry Sanford pretty early. We were shaky. We started off really quick versus them with our press, and then kind of got into that lull during the game, and they came firing back as I expect that they should. They're a great team. We did learn and take a lot from that game. Also knowing how that puzzle piece of, okay, how do we figure out what to do versus Lake Norman and that press that we've seen consistently, and just being, I think we are very poised and patient in the time and handling the ball and making our passes and making the appropriate cuts in their press. Also, I talked about it with the team. I said, it might not be the basket. The pass might be the most important thing, and making sure the press is coming and it's coming hard and it's coming fast. So you got to think a little bit quicker than you normally would, and you can't just hold the ball and freeze. I feel like a lot of people versus them have the tendency to get shot and hold that ball a little too long. So
Yeah, Gary always makes a statement that McKenzie tries to make your second best ball handler make all the decisions, and most teams only have one. Richard, what's your question?
Coach, obviously I've seen a lot of your games this year. Lanice obviously was a known quantity. How much did you have to work to build the chemistry with the other players? Because you go 8-10 deep and they've given you all sorts of production throughout the season. And has it played out like you thought it would? Because you mentioned earlier trying to build the team that way.
Yeah, just building everybody up. At any time, it could be your time. So if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, correct? So empowering them through different games throughout the season. If you go back and you look at our stats, there's been different leaders each game in different categories, assists, steals, points, etc. So we can go all the way down to our bench. We can come all the way back up, and just having the buy-in from every single player in that, hey, when your number is called and it's your time, get out there and do your job.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations again. And Lanice, this is money for you. Back in October, North Meck held a reunion of former students, and Andrea was there, and I had Andrea and Lanice take a picture together for me. And I told Lanice, I said, you can't be mentioned in the same breath with Andrea unless you do what Andrea did. And so
no pressure,
one step away. You told me back in October that was going to happen. And Langston mentioned that he was at that game 40 years ago as a sophomore. I was at that game 40 years ago as a senior. He was there to support West Charlotte. I was there to support North, But anyway, we've already talked about how y'all defeated the press. And I thought that was the most important thing going into the game. But what I realized, and it's not really a question, but maybe you can comment on it, Lanice, is how well y'all played team defense. I mean, you really shut down Kelsey Ryan, and you played without fouling. And y'all are a very physical team. And I've always wondered, when Charlotte teams get to the playoffs and the officiating changes, can teams adjust? And I just thought you all did a great job Friday night adjusting to the officiating. You weren't as physical as I'm used to seeing you, but at the same time, talk about your team defense and how you took Lake Norman out of what they like to do in the half-court offense.
I mean, before in the game, we talked as a team. So we had Morgan on Kelsey the whole time. And she told me before the game she was locking that up. So I trust her, and I know I did my job. I mean, as a team, we come to that decision. Once we get past intimidation and it's our starting five, we know we are defensive first team. So it's like, who guarding who? Who's going to lock her up? Are you going to dig in and lock her up? And Morgan says she got Kelsey. Steph says she got number 12. And I got any big and Finley who comes down there. So we were like, okay, we're going to do it together. Morgan held her bargain. She decided she was going to stand 10 toes down on defense. We weren't going to let her score her average. That's our goal every time on defense. And we stick by it. I mean, it's always defense first. Defense wins you championships, and now we go into one. So I'm going to stand by that, and we stand by that as a team. And it's finally to the end where we bought in collectively, all 12 on our bench, and we decided we're going to play defense no matter who steps on the floor, who they sub in, who we sub in. Everybody decided to play defense. I mean, and as long as we can hold our defense, we know we're secure for the game. So it was like we play defense. The less they score or the less they have the ball, we're cool. Then we can make stuff happen on offense. We did that to the half, and then we kept it going to the end of the game because, I mean, you got to play to the final buzzer. Anything can happen. So, I mean, defensively, that's just what we live by. And that's ride or die until I leave North and then until I go to college.
Lanice, were you guys just sick and tired of losing Lake Norman?
I mean, I only been here 3 years. I lost once to Lake Norman. And I was like, okay, last year, that was a tough loss. They got us bad. But then I was like, okay, this year, this is my junior year. I want a state championship. So they in my way. They in my team's way. Right. I mean, I had to get it. And I didn't really care who was in our way. If it was going to be them, if it was going to be somebody else, either way, they in our way. So we had to go get them.
Well, one of the teams that's always in your way is Mallard Creek. And now both of you are going to the state championship. Can you pull for Mallard Creek? Or is that possible?
I'm worried about me and my team. And so we're going to stay 7-8.
Exactly.
Gary asking the tough questions, man.
I like that answer, Lanice. I like that a lot.
Lanice, what's it feel like to have this championship feeling right there? You guys have won, the game's over. You know you're going to the state. What's that feeling like right there?
I mean, as you can see in the video, I'm sitting down crying because I was so happy. I mean, this is one of we made
that's me behind right there. Look at that.
Yeah. I saw you.
We made the plan at the beginning of the season. We chose what we wanted to do, and our coaches really held us to it. It was like every drill, all of our 2 losses, every practice. It was like, y'all said y'all wanted to win, so we gonna take you there. You just gotta do what we tell you. If it was running a suicide, running down and backs, we on the track, we in the weight room, we have to press the team the whole game. It was like, y'all want to win a state championship, we got to follow it. And so just to get there and be able to win that game in a college and know I'm going to the state championship, I was happy. I was very happy. I was happy for my team because we've been through so much adversity, so much doubt. And I was it was a great feeling. And it's to have everybody watching, the gym was packed. It was very hot, but it was packed with all our supporters. It was so many people watching us just execute and win that game. And it wasn't even by a little, it was by a good amount where we knew that was our game.
Lanisha, you've seen nothing yet at the state championship. You're going to get all kind of former North Meck people coming back. Got all kind of fans. The gym's going to be packed. Whenever it is you guys play, it's going to be packed. It's going to be fun to watch. Coach, what's it like having a leader like that on your team? I mean, you can just hear it oozing out of her when she's talking.
Just somebody that holds everybody accountable. So she's going to do what she says, and she's going to hold them accountable. She's going to run as much as everybody else runs. She doesn't take time off. She's just a person that's going to lead by example and by her hard work and the things that she does on the court and then off the court as well. Coach Richmond said, Lanice was one of the catalysts that helped put together that 75th celebration. She's the president of our student advisory council at North Meck. So she's always pouring back into the school, to the culture. That was one thing that we wanted to bring back to our whole student body, is that sense of pride. So many alumni stepped out during that 75th anniversary and came in. Yep, he's got it on. And just people don't understand how ingrained the North Meck community is. Yeah. And just making sure that we bring that back. The guys have carried us for so long. And we've been right there side by side with them. Yeah. We felt that, I'm not going to say that we were watching the game last year at Wake Forest, just not happy.
Because you wanted to be there
and watch the game. Yeah. The girls were looking, Coach, we should be here. I said, it's a decision you have to make. I asked Coach Lewis, I said, what advice do you have going into this? And he said, well, at this time, he's like, everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's plays. He said the team that can handle the press the most, have the least amount of turnovers and rebound is the team that you're going to see in the end. And I shared that with the girls, and that's just great advice from the all-time winningest coach in Mecklenburg County. So I guess I got to take that under my hat, and I got to make sure that we put that into practice every single time.
You got to listen to Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis knows what he's talking about. Richard, you got one question?
She brought up Coach Lewis, and yesterday, Coach Lewis and I were together because his daughter was coaching against my daughter. And so we talked about Friday night's game, but he spoke so highly of the girls program. And I don't know how much he tells y'all, because, Dwayne's not a big talker, but he loves the girls program, and he's 100% behind y'all next week.
All right, Richard, last question. We're going to get out of here.
And we've talked about the 40-year anniversary with Andrea just down the road in Burlington. I'm assuming she's giving the pregame pep talk.
Man, I'm sending out some good vibes to Andrea. I hope she can make it in. I got a pass for her when she gets there to make it to the back.
And I heard that.
I got one question.
Yes.
Langston.
Yes.
Have we changed your mind
about
North Meck versus Lake Norman?
You beat them. Yeah, I mean, you beat them. I mean, what can I say? Here are the state championship times. I just got them from the state association. Here's the state championship.
All right.
All right. So the 8A, Kahari's gone, but they'll be playing on Wednesday. And the 7A is playing on Saturday, 5 o'clock. That's your game time.
All right.
Breaking I look and he's like, dang.
Bernice is ready.
All right. Well, listen, good luck to you guys. We'll see you in Winston-Salem.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Take care.
Good luck, Coach.
That is Jennifer Baker and Lanice Joseph of North Mac. Man, you gotta love these kids we got in this area. Here's Ahmad Moore. Said that nobody thought he was going to be here. We all were pulling for Dwayne. He said, now that guy below you on this go, Gary, he's definitely pulling for Dwayne. What was it like? What was it like as that game was going on, Coach, when you started to really realize that it was your night? You got no sound though, Coach. You got to come off mute. There you go. Nope, still can't hear you. We still can't hear you. You on mute.
Nope.
You on mute.
This is great. I love this.
I know.
I'm gonna call him and tell him to turn his on.
Just
I got it.
He's talking up a storm. Log out, come back, Coach. Log out, come back. He's talking up a storm. While we wait on him, I got Joe Badgett of Queens Grant.
Randall.
Maybe we can hear Joe. Joe, are you there? Joe can't hear us either.
What is going on tonight?
I don't know.
Technologically challenged.
We have a lot. It's live television, y'all. We have a lot of trouble. We got Makai Allen too, but he's on stream up there. Makai, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
And now we got somebody who can hear us. Okay.
I'm calling Badgett now.
Call Joe. Tell Joe to come back.
Because I can hear her still.
Makai, what's it feel like to be going to the state championship game? Because last year you guys were in that semifinal with Corby and it didn't work out too good.
We couldn't hear you.
It feels very well. This is my first time going to the States. So, I'm just really ready with my team. We're a young group, but we just got to hold each other accountable, keep doing what we do. Nothing more crazy, nothing crazy. Just do anything to win.
You guys have won so many games in a row. How do you stay focused? Because a lot of them have been lopsided. How do you stay focused?
Just at practice. I think it all starts at practice. And just coach reminding us about the state finals game or the regional championship. We just know what our final goal is. And the games it's just the next game on the schedule.
But you guys are favored by so much in these games, though. Is there any pressure that we can't have a slip up? We can't have a Villanova Georgetown moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always pressure with people counting on you and depending on you to win. But I've always played on the top team, so it always feels like that. Just always having to perform. But like I said, we know what comes with being good, and we just have to do what we have to do.
Before I let the guys ask you a couple questions, I do want to ask you, do you know what it means when Coach Joe brings out that little piece of paper he carries in his back pocket?
Yes.
What does that mean?
The little like play sheet, like what?
That little paper he keeps in his pocket. What does that mean when that comes up?
It's a lot of things. It's not just one piece of paper. It's schedules, plays.
No, he gonna start calling plays.
Yeah,
because you're not playing no defense. That's what that's.
Yeah. Oh, nah. It's usually offensively. You do pretty well on defense. I feel like if you mess up on defense, you're probably just gonna come out the game. So,
all right.
Makai, I've gotten to see you guys practice a couple times this year. Can you tell us about a Joe Badgett practice for those people that don't know how it is to practice for this guy every day?
Well, you're gonna have fun sometimes. You're gonna have fun, but you're coming around, messing around, not staying focused. We will be on the line. We will be running.
And if you don't make free throws, right?
Yes, running. We're gonna run.
Anybody else got a question for Makai?
I got one for him. Makai, obviously, Thomas Jefferson made the state finals too. What did you think of that? And it certainly speaks well of your league.
It was pretty surprising. I mean, I didn't know really any teams coming out of 1A, so just for them to come out, that was great for them. That is great for them. Hopefully they can go on and win. But it was surprising, honestly, to be quite honest with you.
Okay. Well, Coach Badgett, can you hear us now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Same question for Makai. What's it feel like to be going to the state finals after what happened last year in the semifinals? I know that was not the way you wanted to go out last year, losing to Corpy the way you did.
Well, it's been good. They came in from the very beginning, kind of focused on what it took. You know, they learned a lot as far as understanding what it takes to get to these level of games. So that was the biggest thing. And I constantly reminded them of that 37-point whooping we took every chance that they gave me an opportunity to. So I'm sure they'll be dying to try to get this one so they can shut me up. But I think those things are just good reminders of anything can happen at this time of the year. And you just got to be prepared to just go out and compete.
I don't know of a coach that, I don't know, maybe Rick can think of one. Rick, who's won a public school and a private school state championship as a coach?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Me either. I can't think of anybody.
Barbara Nelson.
Barbara Nelson. That's correct.
Yeah, right. On women's, yeah.
So you have a chance to do something only the GOAT has done, Joe. I mean, is that any pressure on you to We lost Joe again. Joe touched that.
Can you hear me, Joe?
He touched
I can hear you.
Oh my! So
he touched the phone. Tell Joe to log back out and log back in, but don't touch the phone.
He said he could hear me though.
I know, but just tell him that.
Okay.
Tell him to log out and log back in. But
Langston said log out and then log back in and don't touch your phone.
All right, we're gonna bring Joe back. It's live
Log
TV.
out, log back in. Don't touch my phone.
Makai, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you guys.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Nice having me. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now hopefully we can hear Coach Moore.
Coach Moore's on his computer.
No, he still can't hear.
He looking like what?
He going, we can't hear. It's live TV, yo. What can I say? It's live TV.
All right.
He gonna try the phone.
I'm gonna tell him to put it on his phone.
He gonna try the phone.
Yeah.
All right, we got Joe back too.
Hey Joe, you went.
Yes, sir.
You built one program, then you went to college for a few years, and now you're back in high school again. Is it anything that you learned?
Lost it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear anybody, Joe?
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today, guys.
This is crazy.
Why we on that?
Hey, have fun editing this though.
No, I'm not going to edit. I'm putting it out. It's live TV. Players of the week.
But Kai Allen, who we just saw, he had a great game. 12 of 18 from the field in the regional championship win over South Stokes. He finished with 29 points and 3 rebounds. Kiara Anderson from Mallard Creek had 23 points and 5 steals in the regional championship win over Audrey Kell.
Yeah.
Kahari Coleman, who you guys saw earlier today, scored 7 of his 25 points in overtime as West Charlotte beat previously unbeaten West Forsyth in the regional championship game. Morgan Knox, who was mentioned by Lenise Joseph from North Mecklenburg, played great defensively and had 27 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in the regional championship win over Lake Norman. And a name that we have seen time and time again this season, Mr. Jaleel Smith from Hunter Huss, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals in the 5A regional final win.
What's crazy is he was 7 to 15 from the free throw line. He could have had 30-something points.
Right.
He's incredible with the basketball. Maybe the most electric point guard I've seen out of Charlotte since Devon Dyson in 2018. That's how, he really impressed me watching him play.
Well, Langston, one thing to remember, we have a lot of talented sophomores in this class in North Carolina.
We need it too. We need to come back. We need to be the hoop state again. I love it. All right, so Coach Moore, can you hear us now?
Yes, sir.
There he is. All right. So tell us about beating North Meck and get to the finals.
Man, what a great game. I was so happy for my kids. They deserved it. Our kids work hard every single day, and I'm just so happy to be in a state championship.
Coach, I was talking to Dwayne yesterday, and we talked about it in our group chat among us. What made you decide to go zone late in the fourth quarter? Because I think that's when the momentum flipped. What made you decide to go zone?
We switch our defense up a lot. Our staff does a great job of watching film, and it was just the right time during the game. So, kudos to our staff. We do a really good job of working together, and it just helped us win the game. So,
Yeah, Coach, I don't know if you saw earlier when I showed the North Meck people, but you're going to play Saturday at 7:30. That's the time just came out from the State Association.
Perfect. Thank y'all.
I'm assuming half of Mooresville will be up there.
Oh man, what a great crowd we had on the other night, man. The entire community showed out. Man, it was great, man. Sold out crowd. Man, what a great atmosphere for our guys.
The question I want to ask you is, how did you build this program? Because when you got there, Mooresville was not very good. I think they were 4-21 a year before you got there. How did you build them up in 6 years from that to a potential state championship team?
First things first, man. You got to start by getting great staff, and I think we really have a really good staff. And I would say, believing, like, we work our butts off, man. Our off-season programs, weightlifting, like track work, like everything we do is like top-notch college level stuff. So so proud of my staff, so proud of my kids, and just getting these guys up here to believe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the whole entire Mooresville community believing right now. So, you know, that, hey, man, that's all it takes.
How many years did you coach with Dwayne in North Meck?
Man, I was there for a long time, man. I coached with him and Coach Baker. So I coached with Dwayne half the time, and then I was with Coach Baker for half the time, and I was her JV head men's coach. Girls coach, sorry.
How much did that help you that you knew all Dwayne's tricks as that game got tight?
Not really knowing his tricks. Dwayne's one of my mentors. Y'all know that. And such a great coach, man. Such a great mentor. Me and him talk all the time. But not really knowing his tricks. Just game planning for a really good team, and our guys can talk.
Miranda has a question for you before you.
Oh no, I don't have a question for him. I just have a comment. Since he didn't want to acknowledge.
I'm gonna
Hey Randall, you need to sign out and come back.
I know, right?
Oh, man.
The one thing, no, you're fine, Randall. The one thing that sticks out to me about you guys, I see your results all year long. Most teams have a player that night is going to have 25, 30 points. You guys don't have that. You guys are really, really, really balanced and all tight together, 10, 12, 13 points a game. How do you get guys to kind of buy into that? Because I'm sure some guys feel like, I got to get 20 so I can go to college.
Well, like that's our identity, Langston. We told our guys that we don't have that guy. And some of these guys can go to different schools and average 20 points a game. But when you come together as one, it gets you in the state championship. And I'm so glad, so happy about our guys all year. All year they fought their butts off all year, going through adversity and finding ways to win games.
All right, Randall, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal you thunder.
Nah, you fine. I just want to tell him congratulations because, you know, you try to text people when they make it to the state championship and they can't text you back. He been so busy celebrating, I couldn't even get a response. So I just want to officially tell him congratulations. That's all.
Hey, Gary Richmond, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Gary Richmond. Appreciate you.
Hey, while you talking to me, you said you and Dwayne talk all the time. Did you talk at all last week?
No, we did not talk all last week. We have not talked yet also. But I know we'll talk soon. You know, man, that's my guy, man. One of my great friends who I consider as like a friend to me. But really good guy, my mentor. And I'm just so glad that we got it one time, Gary. Just so glad we got it one time. You know what I'm saying? Just one time. Just one time, Gary. I'm just so glad we got a one time that matters, man. But I'm so really happy for the community of Mooresville High School. Yeah. Man, that community loves their sports, man. And I'm so happy for my kids. We got 11 seniors, y'all. So I'm happy for all those guys. And, you know, we're putting together a really good game plan to go shock the world. So.
All right, Coach. Listen, good luck to you. Hopefully you guys can shock the world in Winston-Salem next Saturday. We will definitely be there.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care of yourself. It's kind of nice when you don't have all the same faces all the time, win championships, because you get that type of excitement. You know, we're used to the same people always being there. Joe, speaking of somebody who's always there, Joe, you go to state championship every year.
Well, we've been blessed to have some talent, man. That's you got to have talent. So we've been blessed with some good kids, and they buy in, and that's the end result is an opportunity to play in this game.
In the last 15 years, how many championships would this be you coached in? Like 12, 13?
This would be 14.
I was about to say, I think last year was the only one.
14 and 15 years. That's amazing. Richard, what's your question for Coach Badger?
I was
Hey,
going to say,
Coach,
Joe can also take credit for our success at Gaston College, according to Benny Moss. We
That's
won
right.
our
That's very
regular
true.
season,
That's
first
very
time in years.
I
With a
can't
couple
hear
of
it.
players he coached and helped
He-
out
he's
with. and helped
saying-
us recruit.
He's
Okay.
saying you need to take credit for Gaston College as well, because
Yeah.
half your Carmel Christian teams at Gaston College right now.
And also, I was going to ask him,
we got a couple kids that are doing real well.
yeah. And also, what did it say about your league? Because a lot of people made fun of your league. You beat them so bad. Thomas Jefferson's in the finals, and other teams did well in the playoffs.
He was saying, what's it say about your league because you beat Thomas Jefferson by so much, but now they're in the finals. And Jackson
Well,
Davis in the regionals.
Yeah, I mean, they played Jackson Day in the regional, and we said, because, I mean, it was conference, so we kind of said it. They played at 1 o'clock, so the guys kind of came in, and we got to sit and watch it. Both of those teams, they real scrappy. They play the game the right way. They play hard, so it was good to see those two teams come out. This conference actually, as far as winning state championships, I think we won more than any other conference in the fall out of this conference between soccer and some of the fall sports. So it's a very competitive conference, and it's going to get even more competitive in basketball with the two coaches at Jackson Day, Thomas Jefferson, and then you got Dewan that's over at CIS. So it's going to become a really good basketball conference, especially on the boys side.
Go ahead, Richard. Rick Lewis.
Hey, Coach. We've sort of had, Queens Grant as far as one of the top teams in the state, regardless of classification. But the most important thing is you guys still have a lot of underclassmen. What's been the biggest challenge coaching so much talent, but also the youth of all the players that you have on your roster?
Could you hear that, Joe?
No, I can't hear him, Mr. Mumble.
He was asking you what's it like having such a talented team with such a young team? How do you balance, coaching these young guys, while also trying to develop their talent?
Well, it's when you get old like myself, you got to try to come up with different ways, and you put more. You take a little bit of the seriousness off of it because you got to kind of meet them at their level. You want them to be focused 100% of the time, but that's not reality. So we do more. I mean, I probably played more this year in practice, as far as putting on. One day I actually had on a practice uniform, so I've done more things like that. When I play, I don't let them dribble. So I've had knee surgery until at 60, but we do more things like that to try to give them that mental break that they need, instead of just being totally focused and locked in all the time, which has helped this group. Some of the groups we've had in the past, they didn't want to play. They ready to go all the time. So the staff just had to make that adjustment and then they learned when it was time to be serious, when it was time to, kind of play a little bit. So it's been a good balance and adjustment for the old guys, as far as me and the staff connecting to these 2028 and 2027 kids.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What I was about to ask you before we had technical difficulties. You went away for college. I don't remember how many years you were gone, and now you're back to high school. Did you detect any changes going away and then coming back? Any changes in the high school game, or just dealing with high school kids that's different from when you were at your other place?
Yeah, I went to Hampton. I went and worked had the honor of working with Coach Buck Joyner, Charlotte guy, for a year.
He used to be in my homeroom at Independence.
Oh wow!
How old I am.
So and I got him at the, he was on the last year of his contract. He had been there 18 years and been to multiple NCAA tournaments and different things. So I learned a lot. The one thing I learned was my wheelhouse is high school. So I learned that very quick. And it was adjusting to all the other stuff you have to do at the college level that the kids don't really buy into, that they need to for you to be successful. especially when it's someone's livelihood, depending on whether or not show up and work hard and that type of stuff. What I've found to be consistent in high school is you have something that they want. And in our case, we've been fortunate enough as a program to have several kids go off to play in the college. I think we've done a great job of developing those kids so when they got to college, they were ready to play. And people have seen that, so that's why they want to be a part of it. And at the high school level, you kind of get to hold that over their head to get them to maneuver the way you want them to, which helps. So I hadn't seen, as far as the level of kids that we've had in our programs, it's still kind of been consistent. The parents can be a little different, but we've had great parents as well. So the parents have been very supportive and they buy in to it also. So I hadn't seen any drastic change since, but it wasn't but a year I was out of it. But I was glad to get back to it. I tell you that.
Coach, I'm gonna kind of take this thing full circle and start with, I always tell people when they ask me if I had a son, who would I want him to play for, and it's only really two guys that I name, and you're one of them. You were at Queens Grand before, then you went to a couple other places, obviously, and you're back at Queens Grand again now. What's the difference between how Coach Badgett was at the beginning and now the second time around?
I can't hear him, Langston.
Oh, dang. Langston.
When he asked Joe, how have things changed?
Go ahead, Gary. Ask that question for him.
How have things changed for you from when you started at Queens Grant, when you started your career, to now being at Queens Grant the second time around? What's changed at Queens Grant?
Well, I was there. I started in middle school, but on the high school level, I had a JV team. Then I had two actual varsity teams. And to be honest with you, the two varsity teams that I had, they were really talented. When my third year at Queens Grant, I started DeAndre Tillman, which Gary, Coach Richmond, you know him. That was at Vance. Said DeAndre Tillman, Deontay Adams, Griffin Pittman. I mean, all these guys went and played in college. So we had that type of team. And the school was still, it's a charter, so they were in the process of trying to find an identity as far as what the campus was going to look like and all of that stuff. So as far as the basketball teams, we had two really, really good teams. ALC Cooks played for me at Queens Grant, and he went on to play with us at Northside. So we had some very talented guys. I think the last year I was there, they finished like 28-4 or something like that. They were very good. So just moving in the transition from there to Northside with Dink, you just had more accessibility to do the development stuff. I think the struggle that as a basketball program that I had at Queens Grand that we've had to deal with and work around a lot in these last 2 years is just making sure we got the developmental time in. And next year is going to be very, very important with that, with the gym opening up and everything. But that's what's the fundamental difference from being there before.
You think not having your own gym, you could say you could act like the victim, or do you think that makes your team a little bit tougher because they have to put up with more sacrifice and more adversity than most kids do because they leave class and they just go to the gym?
Yeah.
And your kids don't have that advantage.
Yeah, it makes it. Well, I think it makes it more convenient for them. I don't know if it makes them tougher, but it makes it much more convenient as far as traveling and on the road. I mean, historically, even when I was at Carmel, the worst game we played every year was the first home game. So being on the road a lot kind of eliminates that noise to where the guys can keep them a little more focused. and then they played in big events, so that kind of keeps them locked in. So I think just the lack of convenience to get in and get your workouts in and all that kind of stuff is the biggest difference. Like when I had Cade Tyson was at the school at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Every day.
He's waiting for you to open the gym.
Yeah, he come in there with Coach Williamson used to come in and do his devotion in the morning, and Cade would be at the door waiting on him. He go in there and he shoot for an hour, then he go take a shower, go to class. So we don't have that luxury because you're not gonna go to Indian Trail of course at 6 in the morning, get over to the school on time. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like Gary, when you asked the question about the difference being gone and back. I'm interested to see how that dynamic plays out with these younger kids. You know what I mean? Are they going to be how these kids is getting all this publicity and they are talented, but I want to see who has that real work ethic. And I think, getting that gym open is going to allow us to see that, which is going to probably separate some of these kids at the end of the day.
How do you avoid those guys from having that same nervous feeling they had last year in the semifinals, now in the finals? Same gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think this group has really bought in. They have really bought in defensively. They're a much closer group because it's really all the young guys. I think the biggest difference in last year and this year was you had some older seniors that were in the program for the first time. You get to that stage, their personal agendas, not being negative towards them, but when you're trying to figure out where you're going next year and all that kind of stuff, that noise seeps into what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
And I think the difference with this group is they were all there last year.
Right.
And they mixed it up, came off the bench some, and the team was actually deeper. But that group there, this group we have now, actually probably should have been starting all of last year. But their ability to hold each other accountable. Preston, my point guard, he's doing great. He's actually calling stuff himself. Matter of fact, I think he called just about the whole game on Saturday.
You didn't pull out the card?
No, I went. I'm trying to get keep the old man out. That's what who was that? Morgan Freeman said, trying to keep the old man out.
You call timeout though. I said he looking for that card.
Yeah, I did. I looked, okay, so I have it folded. What I did, I actually listed them out. Now I was telling me and Dink was talking about this. I listed them out and I laminated it at the UPS store so I can just flip it and kind of look a little bit more professional than having a big stack of index cards.
Right.
So I kind of went to that this year, and then I have paper scout reports and stuff like that folded over top of it. But it's getting away with Preston. I'm looking to call stuff, and when I call it, a lot of times he's called the same thing, which was really impressive.
In high school, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the thing with those guys, and they buy into. They want to see each other successful. So you don't know where it's coming from. I think, I got two kids that's averaging 15, a little over 15, another one at 12. But you just never know that when Bobby Montgomery had 30 the other night.
Yeah.
So it's just they're okay with that. I think that's normally the biggest challenge. Like, why he getting all the shots? Where the ball is finding him tonight, and they're okay with that, which is what makes them really good, and they can really, really guard.
Well, Joe, I hope you hang around with us because I want to put you on our little thing we do, coach versus coach, end of the show with Gary and RC. Let's talk, Randall. Let's talk real quick about these girls' finals. I know we're a little heavy tonight, but it's okay. It's our last show.
It's the last one.
Start me from the bottom. What do you see in these games?
Are we gonna go from Robbinsville and Wilson Prep?
Yeah, we'll go up.
Wilson Prep kind of got off to a slow start. They've been playing really well, and they picked the best time of the year to do so. They're number one right now in the Class 1A, and I think that's going to be a good game. Obviously, Cherokee has been unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm sure they are going to bring the whole town out. First Pamlico County. I don't know if they've seen anything like that this year.
Bishop had them too. Bishop was up like 6-7, and late in the game, and all of a sudden it was like a tornado hit.
And they just went on a flurry. They got
a big girl in the guard. Oh my God! I mean, they're really good.
East Surrey and Goldsboro, they have both been really, really good and consistent this year. So I think that becomes a really good game in the 3A. Maiden,
unbeaten
you know,
Maiden.
unbeaten Maiden has a chance to do something very, very impressive. I think the 4A has been really good this year too. So obviously it'll be interesting to see what they do. The craziest story out of this whole thing, you got a 7-21 North Lincoln team versus an undefeated Southeast Alamance team.
Well, to be fair, you've had North Lincoln ranked in your top 5 all year long. They just had to forfeit a lot of games.
They did. They
are.
And this game is going to be. This is my favorite game on the girls' side. This matchup we saw earlier in the season.
Rick Lewis's tournament. Give him a shout out
on Coach Lewis's event. It ended on a crazy buzzer beater. So that's the game I'm really, really looking forward to. You got Northern Guilford and Terry Sanford, who we talked about Terry Sanford earlier in the show. Yeah. They have been really good. They're scrappy. They're super athletic. They've been good this season. In the 7A, you got North Meck and Southern Durham. That Southern Durham group has been playing outstanding basketball this season. I think the key to that game is, you got to get the ball inside of Lenice Joseph, because when North Meck does that, good things seem to happen. And last but not least, Mallard Creek and Hogarth, excuse me.
Hogarth, no, you're right.
Hogarth, I had it. Okay. I think KD and company finally got over the hump. I think guard play, we talked about it last week, how important guard play is at this level.
They have one of the best in the state.
And they have a 3-headed monster that is arguably the best in the state. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Will Gary be happy after Saturday?
Gary's going to be happy after Saturday, and he's going to be very, very happy because both of Gary's teams are both going to be victorious and bring home state championships.
Okay.
I agree.
Wait, are you calling Mallard Creek Gary's team?
Oh, I mean, the way
that is not Gary's team.
The way those people get after Gary is unbelievable. That's Gary's team.
Hey,
boys,
look,
we got to get Sargent here next week.
I don't know where this came from, but every time I'm around Mallard Creek people, they talkative, just as friendly. I know lots of the parents from when their daughters played there, and like I told you, CJ's kids used to spend as much time at my house as they did at his.
Okay.
So
I think because you're always picking against them. I think that's what it is.
I'm not picking against them this week.
And you pull no punches when you talk about Mallard Creek either.
Mallard Creek by 20. I saw Hargard, and they do not have the athleticism to stay with Mallard Creek.
I bet the Wilmington people be watching this show. This might get clipped.
I don't know anybody in Wilmington, so I'm not.
They watch the football season, so we'll see if they watch them basketball.
The only one I know in Wilmington is Big Pat Wessler.
Big Pat, that's my guy. Big Pat having a big season for UNCW. Richard, start me from the bottom. Richard Lewis.
Well, you have Thomas Jefferson. They're 16-12 against Vance Charter. I think they're 23-2. That's the one classification that we really haven't covered immensely during the season. I don't know enough about either one of them, but we know Thomas Jefferson.
Whoa. We got a guy who knows about Thomas Jefferson, Coach Badger.
I'll let the other Richard speak on Thomas Jefferson.
Do it now.
What's Thomas Jefferson looking like, Coach Badger?
Well, they are very. They got one guard that's a real high energy dude. He was very good against Jackson Day in the regional final. Coach Luther, the Gardner Webb head coach, his son is on that team. And he can shoot the cover off of it. And he didn't have a great regional final, but you can't leave him. He knows how to play. He's a typical coach's son. So I expect Thomas Jefferson to win that game personally. I think they're good enough to win that game.
All right. And I think the guard you're referencing is Kenyon Surratt, who started at Burns and transferred to TJ. And Thomas Jefferson's coach, Steve Jones, is a former Gardner Webb assistant himself.
Yeah, and Joe, talking about your game, Warren County's 15-9, so everybody's going to say you're a humongous favorite. How do you like being the on the opposite side of the Rocky?
Well, it's probably better than being on the other side of it, but at the end of the day, you still got to go play in these games this time of the year. That team is a very driven team. I've watched 5 games of theirs already, and they call themselves the Chosen Nine.
Okay.
And they got video clips out of the Chosen Nine. They're on a little mission, and so they're not going away. We're gonna have to go. You can size them up. The mistake we can make is size them up and think that they're not gonna come in there and play hard, and that it's just ours to have. We got to go win the game. That's just what you have to do this time of the year.
And Coach Lewis, Walkertown and Kinston in 3A, I misspelled Kinston, but Kinston is obviously a known powerhouse team. What do you think about them in Walkertown?
Well, the thing about Walkertown is if you look at their schedule, that out of their 8 losses, 3 of them came to Reidsville, who's playing for a state championship, and every game was very, very close. And they also lost to Mount Tabor, who's a 6A power team there. I think, last week, Walkertown was my favorite to win the Western Regionals. And I think you're looking at Kinston.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Walkertown just because they've had a stronger strength of schedule, and they've just played a little bit tougher teams. I think that's going to be a really good game. And, of course, Kinston brings the fans, and I'm sure it's going to be a packed game.
And then in the 4A, we got Reidsville got there by the chin of their chinny chin chin. They're going to play Salisbury, and it's another battle of 2 traditional state powers.
Well, think about this. The last 2 years in the 2A state championship, Reidsville's beat Salisbury. Will it make it a three-peat? And each and every year, I said the one team that could beat Reidsville is Salisbury. And I think that will be the case again this season. That's the one team that I think has a chance to upset Reidsville, but Reidsville will be the favorite, in my opinion. At the 5A, you got Hunter Huss, and we spoke about Hunter Huss tremendously a lot during the season with Jaleel Smith, one of the top sophomores in the state, and running for Mr. Basketball. He's just a do-it-all guard who's very dynamic and is going to be a Power 5 type of recruit. And then you move to
right there on the screen. That's him right there.
Right there. And if you look at Kings Mountain, I think they're 16-12 against Northern Nash.
That was the biggest shocker for me in the regionals. How they beat Cali. I mean, they beat them, and they kind of kept them away with that jab, and they finished them off with a right cross down the stretch. I mean, it was an impressive win.
Well, the thing about Kings Mountain is, we were high on them earlier in the season because they were all sophomores and juniors, and they started off very poorly, but they've had a nice little win streak at the end of the season. And they had to go to Ben Smith, who was probably the favorite to win the state at that particular time. They went to Ben Smith and beat them on the road, who was the number 1 seed, and then came back and beat Charlotte Catholic, who was the number 2 seed. So, don't count Kings Mountain out. I know Northern Nash is a very talented team. They're very and the thing about it is Northern Nash, they lost one of their top players. LJ Rosser is one of the top players in the state who went, played out of the state. And then, the 7A classification.
Rick, hold on before you get to 7A. I'll be remiss because we got an absolute Gaston County, Cleveland County historian, Richard Walker. Give us a little bit of intel on 5A and 6A and what's the meaning of it.
Well, Haas obviously has a great tradition, mostly 4A, same as Fike. That's kind of an interesting part of that matchup. Their titles, I believe, most of them have come at 4A, although Haas won as a 3A school in 2011. Haas last year lost to Ben Smith in the Western Finals.
They didn't
play very well, so they will have a chance for redemption at that gym. This Kings Mountain story, I've never seen anything quite like it. The only thing, when I've done some research on it in my area that makes any sense, I don't know if you remember back in 87, North Gaston went to the state finals with a 15-14 record.
Don't remember.
But played in a tough conference, and Kings Mountain has a lot of the same traits about it, but to beat the 5th seed, the 4th seed, the 2nd seed, and the 1st seed among their 5 wins in 9 days, it's like nothing I've ever seen. And then Kings Mountain has always had talented players, and they've only been in a state final twice. The first time was 1968 when it was the old Western North Carolina Activities Association with my hero George Adams being their star, future Gardner Webb All-American ABA player. And the second time was in 1990 when they just had a bunch of guys. It was like their best players were like Darian Hager went to North Carolina Central, a guy named Marcus Byers went to UNC Pembroke. I mean, it was just a really deep, good team, and they knocked off Bo Brickles' Concord team in 1990. They've not been there since 1990, so this is largely unexpected for Kings Mountain.
Well, the other thing too about fight, which, for Hunter Huss, they will not play someone that has this much size. They do have a 6'10" Jacavis Davis, who's 6'10". He's a pretty powerful player on the interior. But, I think for Hunter Huss, their game is going to be in transition and getting out and causing turnovers. And I think that will be the key for that game.
All right. Tell us about the 7A, Richard.
Well, 7A, we've had Southern Durham probably the top team in the 7A probably the entire year. They feature two dynamic players, and A.J. Mormon, the point guard, who's probably going to be a high major prospect. They also have another one, K.J. Terry, who could be a high major prospect as well. They're very, very talented. I think the thing with Mooresville that really surprised me is basically watching that game between Mooresville and North Mecklenburg. It was like watching two chess masters play, because the amount of moves and counter moves that both coaches made during the game really left a lasting impression as far as what Coach Moore did, as far as making the counter moves of what North Meck was doing. And we alluded to it earlier. Mooresville has a team that basically they have 7-8 players that average between 7 and 11 points. They're a complete team. They don't rely on any one person. So in a situation like that, when you don't have to rely on someone, that prevents that one person from having a bad game. So, I think Mooresville has a chance. I think the way they play hard, they play together. And Coach Moore is so energetic and enthusiastic. I think, I wouldn't count them out. And
he said he was going to shock the world. Tell us about 8A, Richard.
Well, the 8A is a game of contrast. If you look at Hoggard is a team that's very fundamentally sound. They're going to play in the half court. They're going to run their sets. They're going to take off 20, 30 seconds sometimes in possession to get the shot that they want. Whereas you have West Charlotte, who's going to be more athletic, longer, and they're going to push tempo, and they're going to want that transition. But in the end of it, I think West Charlotte, we've been saying it from the beginning of the season, I think it's West Charlotte's game to lose. I think they're the favorite to win the state championship. And I think the amount of pride that they have and the talent with Kahari Coleman, AC Presley, Chacho Womack, I think those are three dynamic players that will lead them to a state championship.
Coach Badgett, you beat West Charlotte early in the year. What do you think about their chances versus Hoggard?
Well, I think, I watched both teams play. If West Charlotte can speed them up, that's going to be a major problem for Hoggard. From what I've seen of them, and West Charlotte has the ability to speed you up. And if they get you turning that ball over, and it becomes the Kahari Coleman dunk show, you got some problems because all that whole team feeds off of that. We were fortunate enough to kind of keep them. Because we can really guard, and we got a set defense that we run. We were able to kind of keep them off balance and eliminate the that highlight reel show early. But if they speed your guards up, they are a major problem.
Coach Badger, one thing I did notice of all the 4 nights, the only night that a boys team isn't playing the last game is the West Charlotte. I realized they probably did that so Hoggard could get all the way back home. West Charlotte's going to play at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. The other nights are boys games at 7:30. Will that give Hoggard any type of advantage, because Charlotte's a lot closer to Winston-Salem than is Wilmington? Maybe there's not as many West Charlotte fans there.
Man, West Charlotte showing up. They can play that game at 3 o'clock in the morning. West Charlotte's coming. So I've seen that since I came to Charlotte since '84. West Charlotte people are showing up. They're coming. And they're gonna have those leather jackets on, and they act like they still in school. And that's from the granddads and grandmas. They are showing up, man. They come.
Well, they showed up for the 1 o'clock game at Lenore Ryan for sure.
They did, absolutely. All right, it's time for my favorite part of the show. So we're gonna put Richard and Rick in the back. We're gonna do coach versus coach. Coach Badgett, what we do is I ask a question and you just answer the top of your head. Then Gary and Randall will go, and then we'll switch the order after that. And I do have one question for you after that I heard from your opposing coach this past week. I want to get your thoughts about. Let me find this, because Randall told me I had to get him some special theme music, Coach Badgett. So I got some special theme music. All right. We're gonna let the guest go first. Gary, you taking it? What we doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Joe go since he's the guest tonight.
All right, Joe. What is it harder to build a program like you're doing right now, or is it harder to maintain a program like you did before?
I think it's harder to probably build it from the start. I think once it gets established and has a reputation, it kind of takes takes fire itself, and it just keeps going. And that's the blessing we've had, is that we got it started, and it's created its own identity to where people wants to be a part of it. But getting it started, I think, is the toughest thing. I'm not one of those guys that get all hung up on if you leaving and all that stuff. You leaving, you're gonna leave, and if you're doing the program right, somebody else gonna come right in the place of you. So I think getting it started is probably the toughest thing, and I think that's why I'm excited about Mod up at Mooresville, and watching Kendria with our girls, to see these young guys. Chris over at West Meck, seeing them come in and build, because I know how hard that is. And once they get it going, that it's going to be really, really good to watch those young coaches develop.
All right, Gary.
I've had to do it both ways, where, I started the program at Vance, stayed there for 9 years. Then I went to Hopewell, stayed there for 5 years. And for me, because I always knew where my players were coming from, it was to maintain. When I was a head coach, there wasn't a whole lot of transferring going on and kids leaving and jumping from school to school. Now, It happened, but not a whole lot. For me, it was trying to maintain once we got to that level of, being one of the top teams in the state at both schools, because I found that the parents wanted more and more to know about the future, as opposed to worrying about the team winning. What became more important to the parents is, are you going to get my kid a scholarship?
Right.
And how are you using my kid? And, I used to tell them all the time, colleges don't pay me. Okay. I'm getting paid by CMS, and I'm going to do what it takes to win at CMS. Yeah, your daughter might be a guard in college, but for me, she got to play center because she's the biggest one on my team. It was that kind of thing about how I'm using your kid, and playing time. Is college coaches gonna be there? Is my kid gonna get seen? And all of this kind of stuff. Or how are you using my kid? And for me, it was harder to maintain a program, because every year, people were expecting me to finish in first place. And sometimes I didn't have first place talent.
Right.
And there, every year I would tell my AD what I thought I had, where I expected to finish.
Right.
And one year I told my AD, I said, we're going to finish in second this year because we don't have any size. And he couldn't understand why, and at the end of the year, we finished in second, and he was upset about it. Now I was like, wait a minute, I can't finish first every year. So I think once you get to a high level, then people expect you to stay there regardless of the talent. And that's not always the case. As good as some coaches might be, like Joe said earlier, if you don't have talent, it doesn't matter how good a coach you are.
Okay. Randall?
I think in this day and age, especially, it's harder to build a program, because you have to fight the culture fight. And you have to honestly get these kids to buy in. And I think, it's harder at this time to get the kids to buy in. There's so many distractions and so many people in their ear, and so many people telling them that they could be doing this or they could be going there. Mm-hmm. And you got to build a team of 12 to 15 kids that like to be around each other, that buy into what you're doing. They agree with the culture, and they want to win. And, when you do those things, That's how you're going to be successful, especially with kids nowadays.
All right. Well, Randall, since you're on the screen, we're going to come to you with question number 2. Who is more important to college recruiters? I can't wait to hear Joe's answer this question. Who's more important to college recruiters, the AAU travel coach or the high school coach?
The coach who knows the most college coaches.
That's your answer?
That's my answer. Because as in some places, because if you play for Joe, he knows every coach in the country that you would need to talk to.
This is true.
So that's not an issue. And some of these AAU coaches don't have those connections. And that's where the parents lack. The parents, it's cool if you want to go play for these shoe circuit teams or these big teams. But if the person you're playing for can't pick up the phone and call somebody to get you to come to their game,
right,
it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Gary?
Of course, I'm going to say the high school coach because that's what I was.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew you were going to say that. I want to hear what Joe has.
And that's what I did. Now, Randall's right. I picked up the phone a lot of times and talked to college coaches.
Yeah.
But here is what I'm finding today. Because of the transfer portal, okay, these coaches, and it filters down to high school, these college coaches are taking what they see at the AAU circuit, going on, giving them a scholarship, and then once the kid gets there, then they want to go back to the high school coach and say, well, you didn't tell me this kid was so-and-so, or this kid couldn't do this, or this and that. The high school coach knows about the kid on and off the court.
Right.
A lot of times the AAU kid knows the AAU coach knows what the kid is like in the gym, around the hotel, that type of thing. But the high school coach is going to know what that kid is like in the classroom. And here's what else happens. Those college coaches, when they start hitting the portal, you know who they call? They call the high school coach to find out about the kid. They don't call the previous coach where the kid is transferring from. They call the high school coach. Coach, can you help me get this kid in? And, if I'm a high school coach today, I'm saying, well, how come you didn't call me when this kid was a senior in high school? I could have told you. So I'm going to say a high school coach.
It's the way recruiting is now. All right, this is what I want to hear. Joe Badgett, what's more important to college recruiters, the AAU travel coach or the high school coach?
Man, I've watched this over the last 15, 16 years shift a couple times. So I think when we first started, it was the high school coach because it was more on getting a kid that was going to be loyal and do those type of things. Then I watched it shift to where it became about athleticism and, coaches trying to get the guy that can jump the highest and all that. So it kind of shifted more to the travel. But I agree with Coach Richmond. It's shifted back now because I'm paying these kids getting paid. And if they're getting paid, it's about character.
Right.
And so that's what you're getting calls on. They got enough footage out there between, Coach Rick and all these other events and stuff, NFHS Network. You can see them. You get to see them. But it's about character now. I'm going to pay you this money. I'm not gonna pay you money and then have to wake you up to go to class. They're not doing that anymore. So they're calling the high school coaches and doing more background vetting work to make sure that kid is gonna be able to handle this money in this situation. I think the pro level is starting to do that too. I've gotten 3 calls on Cade Tyson from NBA scouts. They know he can play.
Yeah.
I had one coach, Sacramento, had me on the phone for about 45 minutes. They didn't ask me one question about basketball.
Well, they don't have to worry about Cade Tyson. That's one guy they don't have to worry about.
Right.
Joe Badgett, should the NCHSAA use instant replay in regional state finals?
I don't think so. I think they should use a shot clock, but I don't think I don't think instant replay is necessary. I think the biggest thing about the public school that's really good as far as their state tournaments is the fact that they bring officials in after the second round. We didn't do that. They didn't do that in private school. So when you get to that point, it's pretty much a fair playing field. You're not worried about it mentally, and most of the time it's mental anyway.
Right.
I'm at your home court, so I'm getting your. So I think I don't think replay is needed. They don't miss enough. I mean, we had a 3-pointer that was called a 2 and it was an and 1, so we still got 3 for it. Should have got 4, but you'll miss a little something like that every once in a while. But it's not that much to take that kind of time. Because you watch the college games and the pro games, you see how long it takes them to go through replay. Can you imagine how long it would take 3 high school referees to go through that process? So no.
All right, Mr. Richmond.
Yeah, because I saw so many official conferences.
I did too.
Last week.
I did too.
And one official had it this way and another official had it that way. And I don't want it to be over fouls or block charge. I just want it to be issues with time.
Right.
Issues with who the ball went out of bounds on. And like Joe just said, maybe a foot on the line to know if it was a 2 or a 3. Those would be the only kind of calls that I think if you could fix it, that's what you would fixate on. But block charge, goaltending, fouls, that kind of thing, that's subjective anyway. And, 2 different officials may see it 2 different ways. So just things that are correctable, like, who the ball went out on and the time on the clock is what I would be comfortable with.
RC?
I would agree with that, but I would say the one caveat that I would have is I would make it you get 1. And if you get the 1 and you get it right, then you get a second one. I think that way it doesn't slow the game down and you're having a whole bunch of challenges. I agree that it should only be for certain things like foot on the line, who the ball went out of bounds on. But I think if you only give them 1, like a coach is really going to be cautious about when he uses it. He's not going to use it in the first 3 minutes of the game because he's, some people are like, it's not that big of a deal. So I think if we were to go to replay, it would just be each team gets 1. If you win it, you get another one.
All right. That's cool. I enjoyed that. Joe, I did want to ask you, the Catholic schools and the charter schools, you're new to this. They get a lot of hate mail from the other schools because they feel like there's an advantage. And the Surrey County coach went to the press conference, as you know, and kind of said the same thing. He kind of felt, he said, we've gotten to the regional championship game and we're a true public school 3 out of the last 4 years or 2 out of the last 4 years. What is your response when people say that? Because Charlotte Catholic gets that, Bishop McGinnis gets that, and every single charter school around gets that. I don't think Joe can hear me anymore.
I know, and I'm so mad about it. Joe, can you hear me? Oh.
He can't hear anybody.
He can't hear
Joe,
anybody.
can you hear me?
I can hear Gary.
All right.
Okay.
Ask him that question.
Okay. What Langston asked is, what are your thoughts about the issue with charter schools and what other kind of schools, Langston?
Parochial schools.
Parochial schools playing in the state public school championship. Some of the public school coaches are complaining, and I'm sure it's about attendance zones and the fact that charter schools, can be selective as to whom they want to let in, and athletes probably have an advantage if that is the case. What are your thoughts about public school coaches complaining that parochial schools like Charlotte Catholic and charter schools have an unfair advantage?
Let me try to say this the right way. What I think of it is simple. When you beating them, it's not a problem, and it doesn't become a problem until they beating you.
Okay.
And so I totally see it, but I don't let it bother me. I don't think it's there's plenty of charter schools around that. Like you look at Cherokee's girls, perfect example. They beat Queens Grand Charter, and then they came back and beat Bishop McGinnis private. Okay, so maybe if you got a complaint and you're crying about it, you might want to call Cherokee's girls coach and ask her what the secret sauce is to win those games. Because when a South Stokes is winning those games, they're not complaining. When Bishop McGinnis can beat them 2 out of 3 times, then it's a problem with Bishop McGinnis. That's a problem with Queens Grant. So I mean, I don't know what you can do because you have other sports that are involved. So it ain't I know in the private school you could appeal or go up to a different level or different things like that. But I don't know that you can do that in the public arena.
No, you can't.
I don't hear any complaints when my soccer team goes to South Stokes, Bishop McGinnis, and lose 9-0. Phone doesn't ring.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it's kind of petty.
Yeah, to Joe's point, when Charlotte Catholic was not good in football, and Richard remembers this in the 80s, they weren't good. Nobody said anything. Then they got middle school football in the late 90s, and they've been on the run ever since. And then people started to complain. But before we get out of here, Gary, you wanted me to put up this little chart. College coaches are always watching. What do you want people to know about it?
Well, you know, I saw this chart today, and instantly I thought about a kid that I saw, and I'm not going to call a kid out.
Please don't.
But the kid has Division I talent.
Yes.
Okay. But that kid exemplified everything on this list. Bad body language, no effort when they were on defense, you know, coach trying to address them and they kind of waving off the coach, poor attitude, low basketball IQ. I mean, you know, going 1-on-4 in transition, things like that, you know, not talking on defense, you know, played hard when the kid had the ball, but didn't play as hard when they didn't have the ball, you know, was calling for screens on offense, but wasn't being a good screener themselves. So, you know, I think it's something that parents as well as players need to look at, because there are not as many scholarships as there used to be for high school kids.
They're not nearly as many. You don't want to give college coaches any reason why that they move on. When they do look at you, you don't want to give them any other reason to move on. That's for sure. Rick, go ahead. What's your comment, Rick?
Well, to dovetail on what Joe Badgett said earlier when speaking to an NBA scout, and they know someone can play basketball. They're asking about the character things. And also at the collegiate level, you know, I never had a college coach ask me about how many points does a player score. It's the questions that are the character issues, the body language. You know, is he coachable? Those are the things that coaches at the collegiate level are asking when they're talking to me about a particular recruitable athlete.
Richard Walker.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking a little bit earlier about your AAU coach versus high school coach. I talked to a lot of football, baseball, and basketball coaches when NBA, Major League, and NFL scouts come around. They want to know what the kid was like as far back as middle school. They'll talk to the coach, the administrator. They want to know everything about the kid because they're making millions of dollars in investment in them. And I think college coaches should do the same thing, because you know, you want to find out what the kid is like and are they coachable, because every kid that's going to college presumably is going to be the team's star player. Well, chances are they're not going to be the star player in college, and how will they deal with that level of adversity?
Yeah.
And I want to make one additional comment about that. If you look at the landscape of the NCAA now, as far as with the NIL, and I think what's happened is college coaches have forgotten, not all of them, but some of them have forgotten those particular character traits when they're recruiting an athlete. Because you look at the budget, at University of Kentucky, $22 million, and you know they're just an average team in the SEC. So I think sooner or later, some of these college coaches and also athletic programs are going to look at their budget and see, hey, we're going in the hole, and they're going to sit there and go, we need to do a better job of evaluating the kids that we're offering money to, that they're also good character young men.
Absolutely. RC.
Well, there's a phrase called panic recruiting that's going on in colleges. If you don't get a kid, you panic and take what's left. And maybe that's not a good fit for your school. And we're seeing that. And Kentucky may be an example of that, actually.
RC.
I think the big thing is, you know, one thing that you got to remember also is parents and parents' behavior and how they act. I feel like college coaches are trying to find ways to eliminate kids, especially high school kids, off their list. So that's one thing that I think would need to be added to that list. But I think that's what a lot of college coaches are trying to do, just finding ways to say, okay, now I know I've seen how this kid's parents act. I can take him off my list.
All right. Well,
that's a great point. College coaches are finding reasons not to recruit you now.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, this has been a great show. It's been a little bit more like a football show tonight, actually.
Man, it's the first night we ran heavy all night. I'm not trying to hear none of that.
We were not 2 hours heavy, but we're very heavy. Very heavy. All right, it's time to put the big man in one shot. Randall, get us out of here.
I mean, at this time of the year, scouting reports don't matter. X's and O's don't matter. It's the final game of the season. It's going to come down to who wants it more. Those 50-50 balls that, who's going to dive on the floor for them? Who's going to get a box out? Who's going to knock down a big free throw? At this point of the season, this is it. And it just comes down to the team that makes the little plays is typically the team that's going to win.
All right. Well, there it is. You guys heard from the coaches, the players, and the experts. I want to thank Richard Walker for joining us this year. Richard, can I get you to come back for football season?
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
It's so great having a historical perspective. It's great having Coach Badgett on. I don't know if Coach Badgett need to hear me right now. It's great having Coach Badgett on the show.
Thanks for coming, Joe. Langston is saying thanks for coming.
Yeah,
good luck.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I told Langston, I said the last 3 coaches that was on here, they lost that next week.
Hey, you better not, because I know you're gonna try to play
Queen Grant and Dwayne Lewis.
Oh man, that's why we couldn't get Coach Dixon on here tonight.
But Joe, thanks for coming on. Garrett, tell Joe said thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Langston said thanks for coming on and good luck, Joe.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, that is Joe Badgett. 14 state finals in 15 years. That is a record.
Insane, bro.
That is incredible. And he's won about 7, 8 of those state championships. He's won a good many of them. All right,
hold up. We got to do something. I'm a big man here, Langston. And
hold on, let me turn my volume up for this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give Randall. Take your shot, Randall. Your boys beat my boys last night. Take your shot.
We got it done last night, but it doesn't mean anything if we don't do it again on Friday.
He's talking about Duke beating UNC. Randall's the biggest Duke/Michigan fan. He can't quite like Duke all the time. He can't quite like Michigan all the time, but he does like Duke, so we'll give him.
He is in stage 9.
Yes, he is in
stage 9 of Duke fandom, and we know what comes after that.
It's back to stage 1 when they're gonna win the championship next year. They're like the Cowboys. Every August is our year. Duke fans every March is our year. And then by March 20th. You watching some other game, they switch you. Duke's about to lose. And then Randall goes into stage 1 again. So. But you know what? Duke has the best team in the country. They really do. And they got a great coach. Josh is doing a phenomenal job. I would love to see Slim. I'd love to see Slim get the championship. He's one of my favorite players I've ever coached. And it was kind of cool seeing his mom hold up that crock pot. Did y'all see that? She had the crock pot.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
She had that at Myers Park when they played Myers Park in that big high school game years ago. She had the crock pot. I had to laugh. I said, Mama got the crock pot out today. So
and of course, they've already hung up one banner, the national recruiting champions. They get that banner every year. So.
They get that every year. But you know what? Slim has the best shoe game in the country.
Jaden Bradley will have to will be calling you when he gets.
Jaden, you my guy, man. But this man changed shoes 3 times in the game. It's like
that was Jaden did the same thing last week.
Who's on the bench handing him shoes? And Coach Shard, I don't know if they even know that. I mean, they have 3 different pairs of shoes.
It's definitely between those two, and I love them both, so I love to see it.
No, but look, guys, it's fun doing the show this year with you guys. Richard, thanks for coming on. As I tell you guys every week, we're so lucky to have Rick Lewis. You guys hear it every week. I mean, just the knowledge, the understanding, the respect from all the coaches. He's probably the most respected among coaches of anybody in North Carolina. Everybody knows Rick Lewis. Everybody goes to Rick Lewis for advice. Everybody plays Rick Lewis's tournaments. I just don't say this every week. We are lucky to have Rick Lewis in the winter. We are lucky to have Chris Hughes in the fall. They are the best guys for high school football and basketball in North Carolina. That is Randall Clark, #1 trainer I know. Kahari Coleman's jump shot is on you.
The pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. That's Gary Rich, my frat brother, good friend, former CMS coach. That is Richard Walker, the only guy around here has done this longer than me. And it taught me how to do this job. True story. Taught me how to do it. I'm Langston, and we are done after 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 32 seconds talking preps.